Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helped me out. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's Kelly, and today we're going to do some lower body work on the reformer using the tower springs. So if you have two long yellow springs with double loops attached, I'd like you to hook them halfway up the tower where the push-through bar is loaded. And then your reformer springs should be, I'm using all reds, well that's two reds, one blue and one yellow. You could have all springs, you could have all reds and blues, or three reds and a blue, whatever your machine has. You want it fairly heavy, but maybe keep one of the 5 springs off so that there will be some motion in your carriage. And I have my foot bar on a medium height. Depending on your length, we will be having our legs in the tower springs and the feet touching the bar, so you want to be able to reach the bar. I'm long, I probably could do this on low bar position, but I'm going to keep it on a medium height for me today. Headrest is in the up position if that's comfortable for you when you're laying down. And we'll start by getting in position laying down. You're going to grab your tower straps or springs, put them in one hand, and then carefully guide yourself down onto the carriage. And then once you're here, push your legs to straight and put your legs through the straps. I have a double loop on here, and I am placing them through the larger loop. You can do whatever is comfortable for your legs. It's nice to, I only have canvas straps on here. It is nicer if you have the padded straps. And then just kind of wiggle around, make sure you're in a good position. I have a kind of loose shirt, so hopefully this microphone works on here and doesn't become too noisy with the motion of my shirt. So first, place your feet on the bar, hips distant apart, and you're going to tuck and untuck the pelvis a few times, just to help you find a neutral position. So passing through neutral to get into a mild extension or anterior tilt, and then passing through neutral to go into a tuck or posterior tilt. A couple more times, loosening up the low back, and then come to a neutral position, which if you put your fingertips on your pubic bone and the heel of your hand on your hip bones, you should feel pretty flat and level. And then hands come down, legs lift into a chair position. So lubricating those hip joints are going to extend the right leg out and pull it back, using our deep low abdominal muscles, now the left leg, to maintain pelvic stability. So inhale, lengthen the leg out. Exhale, pull back in. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, return. And I'm stopping the leg at a 90-degree bend at my hip, give or take, when it returns each time. Breathing in to lengthen, breathing out to bend. Couple more. And last one here. And pull it in. Close the legs. We're going to press both legs out and in. So lengthen them out. Your carriage may move a little bit, and if it does, that's fine. Just steady yourself out there. Try to press your belly down and then pull back into a chair position. Inhale, lengthen the legs. You can kick up as high as you need to if you have low back issues. Exhale, pull in. I want you to feel as though your abdominal muscles are pressing down towards your spine, as though they're pressing onto an imaginary scale, like a deli scale. Rebecca Leone gave me that cue many years ago. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in. A few more. So the deli scale, you're imagining your ab muscles pressing down onto this imaginary scale, and the numbers on the scale are going up, and you're maintaining that pressure into the scale, no matter if your legs are straight out here where they're real heavy or bent back in. And then I want you to straighten your legs up to the sky. Let's just take a moment to flex and point, stretching the fascia in the legs, using those core muscles to stabilize your pelvis. Now, I just noticed that my tailbone was sort of lifted off because I have somewhat tight hamstrings. So if that's the case, lower your legs down a little bit away from your face until you can get your tailbone down. And you could fit a small hand underneath your back. Last one, toes point, and then you're going to lower your right leg, lift it up, and the left leg. Now, you may decide that your foot bar being lower is better so that you can get your leg lower. I'm good with the height that it's at, even though I can't bring my leg very low. Inhale down, exhale up. Lead with those abdominal muscles, imagining that deli scale you're pressing your abs into. Feel as though your leg does not start at your hip crease, but it starts way up by your belly button. One more set. Now you're going to lower the right leg, and as it's coming up, you'll simultaneously switch and switch. Lots of energy through your feet. Feel that your legs are trying to reach far as they're passing each other. Stabilize with your core and breathe. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you're going to lift those legs up, squeeze them together, flex and turn out your feet, and lower the legs down. 2, 3, 4, lift up. 2, 3, 4. Inhale down. Exhale up. Keep going. There's a small movement of the carriage, likely, depending on how many springs you have on your reformer. And that's okay for it to move, but you're making it move slowly because you're controlling your leg motion. And up, we've got one more here. It may be an odd number, I don't often count. And lifting up. You're going to bend into a frog, and then you're going to kick out and squeeze and hold, and then bend back in. So again, we're trying to strengthen and loosen up the hip joints and the knees and a little bit of the ankles, but also work those deep low abs to stabilize our hips, pelvis, low back. Inhale and exhale. Try to hesitate your legs out there for a moment so that your carriage stabilizes and so that your abs have to dig deeper and hold stronger before just bending back in. And last one, and return. Now you're going to place your feet on the bar. They will be somewhat wide. You're going to lower your headrest down to flat. And I say somewhat wide. I want them as wide as your hips, maybe a titch wider than that. But if you have a very wide bar like I do on this machine, you don't want to be way out there. You want to be in line with your hips or a little bit wider. Now, what I want you to do is have your feet on the top of the bar so that you can pull your carriage in and contract those hamstrings. And then you're going to push away. And then you're going to pull yourself in, contracting the back of the legs, and then push away. Now, as I'm doing this, I could potentially get a toe cramp or hamstring cramp if I'm not focused on my legs and hips, and instead if I'm focused on my feet. So I've sort of relaxed my toes even though I'm pressing my feet into the bar and pulling myself in, and just focusing on that hip hinge and stable abdominals. But you really want to get the carriage all the way into the bumper here, so make it click and then push away. Now if your bar is lower than this, it will be a little bit harder because the legs will have to reach for the bar a little bit further and pull more. Last one, we're going to stay in here, tuck the tail, press into your arms and curl your hips up, and then move out and in. All the way in if you can. It's really hard and it definitely makes your hamstrings work. Inhale and exhale. 4 and 3 and 2 and all the way back in on this last one, and roll the body down. That one is hard for those hamstrings. Hug those knees in and then straighten your legs overhead and stretch your hamstrings. We're going to put the feet back on the bar. This time they will be sit bone distant apart. Return to that neutral pelvis if you lost it from pulling your knees in. And then we're going to tuck the tail, press into the arms, curl the hips up. Now we're going to keep our carriage in as close to the bumper as we can and march the legs. Right leg up and down, left leg up and down. So notice my carriage is moving slightly. This is really hard for me with those sort of tight and weak hamstrings all at the same time. Squeeze pelvic floor, squeeze those abs. And last one, when your foot comes down, roll your body down, bone by bone. And then hug your knees in and straighten overhead and pull and stretch. Excellent. And then back to the feet on top of the bar, neutral pelvis. I'd like you to be in a Pilates V. So heels connected and toes apart, knees apart. You're going to tuck your tail, curl up, and press out and in. Out and in. Last 3 and 2. Inhale away, exhale, pull in and roll the body down. And then hug those legs into a froggy position and give yourself a stretch. And then readjust your straps like I'm doing if needed. Adjust your bottom back to a neutral pelvis. And then I want you to put your left foot on the bar. Right leg is up in a chair position. So you're going to press your left leg to straight, then straighten the right leg up, bend it back, and come in. Push out, up, down, and in. Lengthen, lift, lower, in, out, up, bend, in one more, extend, up, down, and in. Right foot lands on the bar, left leg in chair position. Lots of glute and hamstring work here. Extend, up, down, and in. Push away, straighten the left knee, bend it back, pull the right leg in. Reach, up, down, and in. Reach, up, down, and in. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. All right, so now we're going to put the straps over our feet. And this is really going to work those hamstrings. So you may opt to lower, to take your feet out, come all the way up, and lower your Reformer springs down to 1 red and 1 blue. I'm going to try it out with the 2 reds, 1 blue, and 1 yellow that I have on currently. And if it's miserable and I don't get the motion in the carriage that I'm wanting, or my hamstrings are really firing too much, then I may come up and change it. But we're going to start here. For sake of time, I'm going to try not to change it, but we'll see how it goes. So again, find that neutral pelvis. Lots of times when those knees are bent, we kind of lift our bum in the air and press the small of the back down, but return the pelvis to neutral and then extend your legs up. So we're going to lower both legs. The carriage will move away some. If you have as many springs on as I do, it won't go far, and then up. But the goal, using the Reformer and Tower springs, is to practice stabilizing, moving slowly to stabilize the carriage. I'm actually going to come out of this because I can feel that this tension is making my knees hyperextend. So if you don't have that issue, certainly keep going. I'm going to come up and change my springs to 1 red and 1 blue. And I know that I'll like that better. I actually think I'm going to move my foot bar down a notch too. Oops, I need to grab my springs again. So if you came up, remember, put them in one hand. And again, if you prefer your headrest up, you can certainly put it back up. So springs go in one hand and you sort of roll yourself onto your carriage. Sorry if I'm making noise in this microphone with my shirt moving around. And then feet go in the straps. Long loops if you have them. All right, back to even on the mat, find neutral pelvis, lengthen your legs up. All right, I can tell this is going to be better. So legs go down, carriage moves away, and then slowly lift. Inhale down, exhale up. So I like to be externally rotated for this because of my hyperextended knees that are hard for me to control or keep a micro bend in. So if that's you, you can be turned out as well, or you can choose to be parallel. Now when you lift the legs, you're going to open into circles, only as wide as your own machine. And you're going to go really slow. You're going to open, circle down, connect those legs at the bottom before you lift up. Make sure when you lift, you imagine having a pencil at your hip creases and you're folding your skin over your pencil so that your butt doesn't tuck off the mat. I love teaching the Reformer with the Tower, again, like I said before, just to teach control and stability, because if they're moving too fast, the carriage is either going to not move at all or it's going to fly and ricochet back and forth. So that's not a good way to do it. So coming back, you're going to go straight down, open around and lift, down, around and up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Try to connect at the top before you lower those legs. When you come to the top, bend into a frog, which is a nice relief for my knees. And then you're going to press out, keeping the heels glued together. Stabilize that carriage and slowly bend in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. And reach. And return. Couple more. Last one, when the legs are straight, keep them straight. Make them parallel. Unless you need to turn out for hyperextension, you're going to alternate, scissoring those legs. One goes up, one goes down. Inhale and exhale. Don't move too fast. Try to get your carriage to come to stillness and then keep switching. Feel those hamstrings. Mine are on fire. One more, and then we'll bend into a chair position. So when you're in chair position, I want you 90 degrees at the hip, 90-degree bend at the knee. So sometimes I'll put my hands on my thighs just to get started so that I know to stop there where my fingertips are straight upright and not knees bent in towards my belly button. And then once I know I have that, you're going to straighten the right leg out and in several times, just the right leg. Extend and bend. Use those core muscles. Imagine that deli scale and abs pressed down into it. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to bend. Now the left leg presses and pulls back in. As the right leg maintains stability, 90-90 degree, meaning 90 degree at the hip and knee. And you'll notice your springs on that right leg are open, which makes this hamstring constantly have to work to hold pressure into the spring. Last one, when you pull that left leg in, we're going to alternate the legs. So right leg goes out, and as it's coming in, the left one goes. And you can draw them in a little closer towards your abdomen here, just a little. Only because it feels good to my hips. Inhaling and exhaling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then pull in, give yourself a little froggy stretch before we do a couple more things with the feet and the straps. So you're going to straighten your legs up to the sky, parallel if you can. Go back to that neutral pelvis, which means for me, my legs aren't going to start over my hips. They're going to be a little lower because of my tight hamstrings. From here, we're going to do 8 walking steps, 8 baby steps down towards the floor. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, lift up. 5, 6, 7, 8, one more. 5, 6, 7, 8, then lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Heels together, toes apart. Open your legs, circle down 30 degrees and beat 10 times. So it's open, close. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open, circle your legs lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open, circle lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open, circle higher. Last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend in and stretch. And breathe. And carefully release your feet from the straps, place your feet on your foot bar, and make sure you just let go or drop those tower springs. And when your carriage is into the bumper, drop your knees to the right, head to the left. And other side. And when your legs come back up, we're going to finish with some running to strengthen and stretch the feet and ankles. So toes on the foot bar, legs parallel. Make sure that you have good connection and a sit bone distant apart position with those feet. Press away and then drop one heel, lift the other, and switch and switch. Breathing in and out. If this doesn't feel like heavy enough springs for you, you can always come up and change the spring tension. This works for me, being on one red and one blue spring, just to get some good mobility through the feet and ankles. And then you're going to hold the right heel under when it gets there. Lengthen your left leg on top to give a little extra pull for that right ankle and calves to stretch. Nice big deep breaths, oxygenating the tissues as you relax into the stretch. And then left toes on the bar, drop that left foot down, lengthen your right heel on top to give you an added stretch. I kind of pull with the back of my heel to deepen the left calf stretching. And breathe, relax your head, neck, and shoulders. And then both feet on that bar, drop those heels and stretch. Take one more big deep breath. And when you exhale, keep your heels as low as you can and bend and come in. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.